Hello and welcome back to the Rovers Chat YouTube channel. We're sitting down for a bit of a fixture release day chat, and as you'll see, I'm joined by Matt. How are we doing, Matt? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thank you for having me back on again. How are we doing, Dan?
Yeah, good. Nice to have you on. Just want to tell everyone where they can find your channel that you've set up recently.
Yeah, so on YouTube, on all socials, really, set up. Thanks to Dan, obviously. A big thank you to Dan for helping me with growing a bit of confidence on camera and also, learning the basics of editing and stuff like that. I couldn't do it without him, but just Rovers reports and everything. And yeah, thank you, Dan, for everything, mate. You've been an absolute legend with it all. Always want to help you out as well, mate.
No, you're always good, mate. It's always good having you on. So obviously today the big news, the fixtures came out. But Matt, I just wanted to focus on signings. It's not often we get the chance to talk about signings. Everyone will see the Norway flag behind you. 3 already through the door for the first team. I'm sure there's many more to come as well. I reckon we'll at least double the numbers. We'll start off with Niall Ennis. What do you make of the addition of him? We haven't spoke much recently about these. So Niall Ennis arrives Plymouth. Obviously, he's done well. Plymouth before and makes a step up to the Championship. Do you think he can make that step up?
Well, first of all, I think where he started isn't talked about enough. I obviously been in person at the minute in Wolverhampton. I've got a lot of Wolverhampton fans around me, and they said he was meant to be something when he came through the academy. He was meant to be like the next, quite big thing that came through. Never really hit it off there. Went on some loans, never worked out for him. Went for Plymouth, and he absolutely ripped it up there in League One. Yeah, of course, like you said, from League One to the Championship, a massive step up. Of course it is. Going up in any league's a massive step up. But with Niall Ennis, what's nice is, he's a bit versatile. He can play in the left. He can play in the middle. It is a little bit like Brereton Diaz in a way. But one thing I like about him as well, that's a little bit different. Diaz always liked to cut in onto the right, in from the left on his right and bend it round. With Niall Ennis, he looks a bit more direct. He's going to run. He's going to run at these defenders. He's going to whip it across. He's going to do what he can. And I think it's good. If we can keep him out of injuries, I think we'll be fine. But we've got to see what he's all about.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to it. Just for the comments, if you want to get your thoughts in on all the stuff we discuss, we'll always bring it up. Welcome to everyone who's joining us. Thank you for all your support as well recently. Plenty of content coming out as well. So if you've not already, hit subscribe. So we mentioned Niall Ennis and then the man whose flag you've got there, Sondre Tronstad, who I think it's a very underrated pickup. I spoke to a Dutch football fan. I know you did one on your channel as well. And he explained that the Dutch league's coming up into the top 5 leagues. It's replacing the French league in terms of the top 5. So for me, for someone who's made 100 appearances, played 20, 30 games in Europe as well, I think it's a really understated signing. How do you think Tronstad will fit into this team with, I know we lost Tyler Morton and we need a midfielder, but with the likes of Lewis Travis, if he stays, that's another story. Adam Wharton, Jake Garrett, who's going to have a season I think that he pushes through into. There's plenty of other talents as well in that midfield. So where do you think his position lies in this team? Is he more of a squad player, or do you think he's coming as someone to come and make 35, 40 appearances?
You know what? I think he's a bit of a safety signing. I think because there's so much youth coming through. Like you said there, this could be Garrett's push season. And if we're pushing Garrett through the rankings and it doesn't quite go right, with Tronstad, it's not a risk, is it? You see him in the Europa Conference League especially, the guy who I had on my channel, and I saw you tweet as well, very underrated, but in the Europa Conference League, apparently had the games of his life. They really loved him, but this past season, he's not quite carried on what he had been doing the two seasons before that. At the end of the day, to have that security, knowing that, if Jake Garrett isn't playing well or Lewis Travis ain't playing well, just to be able to bring him onto the pitch, I think that's just a perfect thing to be able to have, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think one thing I noticed from what the fans were saying as well, the Vitesse fans and the people watching Dutch football, is he's used to playing 2 games a week. I think we saw last year when John Dahl came in. I think John Dahl actually, his issue and the reason why I think we struggle for the players, he wasn't used to English football. He wasn't used to 2 games a week. I think there were some games we looked absolutely flat out in from 5 minutes in, and that was kind of the project of building in this new playing style and building in this, especially this new training style that he's put in that's far stronger than we've ever had before. And then we mentioned the third one that, well, to be fair, did not expect it to go through yesterday. It caught me out a bit. I was ready to close down for the night and get ready for fixture release day. Gunnarsson arrives, and it's one that is obviously the biggest signing for me. I think it's the one that everyone's really excited about. Arrives with a lot of promise from a good league as well. I know Russia's got the current issues and everything going on, and that's why he's been away. But he arrives after some really good performances. That Real Madrid goal is going to get played everywhere, isn't it? How exciting is that signing? And I know it's only a year, but how influential could he be to this year's promotion chances or playoff?
I think people forget before what happened with Russia and Ukraine and all the stuff going on there. We won't get too much into detail with that, I'm sure. But before that, you got to realise how big of a part he played in a European team who were playing Champions League football. He was quite a key player there. And obviously, it's unfortunate what's going on. But do you think that he's someone who wants that move to Sweden? Probably not. But he needs football. Before he moves to Sweden, he was linked to Napoli, and then Napoli were like, everything happened, and they were like, right, we're just getting out of this. We don't want anything to do with this, and you don't blame him. He's someone who looks like he is a European footballer. And, he's playing at international level. As soon as he was left out the squads, that's got everyone talking, everyone excited. And, he's come in, and I think he's going to bring something different we've not seen before in a long time anyway, since, the early 2010s, 11s, when you had your Pedersens and whatnot. I think if you look at his highlights, he's just the way, honestly, I don't want to sound like one of them meme accounts on YouTube, but the way he runs with that ball is unreal. Like the way he turns people out, I've seen some dummies he does and stuff like that. He's a very flary player. And, I think sometimes you look at the Championship and you don't realise enough. It's so physical and whatnot that if you can have someone who has that bit of flair, who can keep out of them physical battles, sometimes they're the biggest pain in the ass to deal with. And I think he'll be a thorn in every opposition's foot.
Yeah, I think it's a big signing for us. I think having that flair, we've not really had a flair winger for many years. Have we? Even Craig Conway, Ben Marshall, brilliant wingers, but they were never that flair winger that had skill to take you past free with it. And I think it'll be nice. It's someone to get the fans excited as well. We need that lift at times. We know the Blackburn end can go a bit quiet at times if the game's a bit dull, and it does need that bit of magic to bring the squad up. You saw it with Redi Kadra, actually. He's probably the last winger, isn't he, we had that's flair, the flair style, that when he come on, he kind of light the game up and light the Blackburn end up. And even if it didn't result in him being directly involved, he got the crowd going. That
he didn't score a lot, he didn't assist a lot, but what he did in the build-up to some of the stuff that we did, you just looked at it and you go, I want more of that. And as soon as he went to Sheffield United, it's like a knife in the back. It's like, you want someone like that. But honestly, I think people need to look away from that and realise how much of a big upgrade Sigurdsson is. I think people aren't taking this guy seriously enough. This guy looks absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I think it's a mega part, isn't it? We'll just move on to the fixtures. We'll start with the Carabao Cup, actually. Walsall, the Dome. Initial thoughts on it, Matt? For me, I'm happy with it. I think it's progression to the second round. I wouldn't say that under other managers, but I think John Doyle respects the tournament enough to put out a strong enough team. And he still wants to win the game. I think, especially under Mowbray, I felt that the cups were second nature, which does happen. I'm not really complaining about that. But we should go through, shouldn't we? Even with a second string side out.
Yeah, like you said there, like usually when you look at our youth, you'd be a bit like, I remember when we had the old Pers in there and some of the youth in front of him, you'd be thinking, oh God, we'll dominate all game and lose 1-0 to some absolutely rubbish. But now you look at the youth that we've got through, I think that, obviously the PL2 has a lot to do with it, the way that's massively upgraded in quality. But I think also the fact that Jon Dahl likes to give these youngsters a chance where the chance is given 20 minutes there and there if the game's comfortable. I think we could quite easily play not so much a youngster team, but like you said, they're a second team, maybe someone like Tronstad who can come in for Travis, give him a break. Because sometimes, these are the players that look knackered in the big games where you need them the most. So being able to have a bit more rotation in these games is nice. And I think, like you said, I would have much rather have it been in Walsall to take another ground off. But, it is what it is. At Ewood, it should be back pocket stuff, but I don't want that to come back bite me on the bum.
Yeah, for anyone who's done enough of the games down south, I'm sick of Walsall. Absolutely sick of going past it. I remember doing it 2-3 years before we actually played them in League One. It was very nice to get it done. Matt, trust me, you don't want to go to that ground. It's falling apart and you almost... we'll just take a look at the fixtures now. We'll kind of look at them bit by bit. I'll bring them up on the screen. So you see Rovers start the season at West Brom. I wanted to focus on that start, Matt. Now, I'm not saying things are easy because I'll never say this division's easy because the amount of times I thought Rovers are going to go and walk a game, they don't. The amount of times I think we get battered, we end up winning it. But you look at them, West Brom, Rotherham, Hull and Watford. How do you rate Rovers' chances of getting off to, a good start? Last year was 3 wins in a row, and then we lost that game at Reading, so 9 points out of the first 4. Do you think Rovers could replicate something similar to that?
Well, I think honestly, if you come to me for my opinion, I think that this start's the most important thing ever. You look at that nasty month end. I think people are going, can we get rid of this curse? This year it won't be a curse. We are just playing against absolutely top-notch teams. It isn't a curse. These teams are absolutely quality. So the start of the season, middle of the season is so important this year. And you look at West Brom, yeah, whatever they decide to do to rebuild or whatnot, they are a team, in my opinion. It's sad to see you're falling apart a little bit under these owners. And, they are a team that I want to see in the Premier League. I don't have anything against West Brom. I like them. I think they're a good club. They should be up there. But the owners aren't doing it for them. They're refusing to score. First game of the season, it will be a rebuild squad, something trying to get put together. They've lost a key centre-back recently to Burnley. O'Shea's going 8 million. It's going to be a massive game for them. And I think we come into this favourites because we're just a little bit more ready. And I think we need to take full advantage of that. Let's hit them whilst they're down still. Let's hit them whilst they're down. Rotherham shouldn't be much of a battle. But, we like to mess it up against these teams. I remember, was it a 4-0 loss to them? Hull City.
4-0, unfortunately.
Yeah. Hull City, a team where I think they are dark horses coming into this championship season. I think people are underestimating them. But if we can catch them as well at the start of the season where they're still trying to find their feet. These are teams that are all trying to find their feet. Watford as well. I think this start of the season, we need to go into it and hitting the ground running because at the back end of the season, it's going to be so much harder than people think it is.
I think as well, you take a look at these first 4. So West Brom, you mentioned the defender. I also think the managers want to consider with West Brom, with Leeds not yet in. I know Giro is getting linked with Vieira. If Carlos Corberan's still in the hot seat at the start of the season, I won't be surprised, but I think there's a good chance of him going. You mentioned Rotherham away. Rotherham are a bogey side for Rovers away from home. I very rarely recall us winning there. I think it's once since we got relegated. But again, like you say, start quickly. Hull, I agree with you, actually. I think they're going to be up there this season. But I think with Hull, it's playing them at home. The home fixture there does that for me. I think just having them at home will just maybe scrape us over the line. And then Watford away, Ismail's come in. We know his style. We know the way he plays. Can he recruit the players and get them playing that style by the end of August?
They've got a big signing coming in tomorrow, haven't they? I've seen a few Watford pages saying that there's a new signing coming in tomorrow morning that they're going to announce. I don't quite know who it is, but apparently it's a massive one.
Yeah, it's just that playing style under Ismail, isn't it? We saw it at West Brom, it never worked. Whether it works at Watford, I'm not sure. Whether he gets the chance at Watford's the main thing, isn't it? We know about them. We all know the story of their managers, so definitely not one to do. What we will do is, as we go along, I did actually pull up a tier list where we'll kind of look at how many points we think we might get off each side. This
have we got our predictions from last year still? Because I remember a certain somebody saying that we'd finish quite low, and then me saying I think we'll have a good season.
I can't work out who that might have been, but we'll move on anyway, Matt, before we bring that back up. So once we get to the end, we'll pull up this tier list and I'll kind of explain it as we go through. But we'll move on to the other fixtures coming up as Rovers look to make their way through. So a September that involves trips to Plymouth and Ipswich. Anyone doing them miles, good luck. And then Middlesbrough, Sunderland and Leicester at home. Now, I think that is a tough month for Rovers. I think trips down to Plymouth and Ipswich are never easy, especially Ipswich. Rovers always struggle at. And then when you couple it in with Millwall coming up and Norwich before Christmas, I think we've got some tough ones, and Southampton.
You can't forget as well with the Ipswich game. It's going to be quite an emotional one as well. Well, maybe an emotional one, as Bradley Dack's looking like he's going that way, isn't he?
Yeah, there are talks of it, and we will cover that, I'm sure, near the time if he does end up going. You never know with his transfers, do you? Yeah. We look at this now. So you look at, I think the home fixtures are the ones Rovers go for, aren't they? They're the ones that you have to be picking up 3 points regularly. So what do you think a reasonable target is from West Brom, Hull, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Leicester? Them first 5 that gets us through to the October international break in terms of home games. What would you say is a reasonable return points-wise there? Because without a doubt, home form's going to be the thing that gets Rovers in that top 6, if anything.
So we're talking 11 games there, aren't we?
Yeah. So if we just got the 5 at home, though, to start with.
But so the five at home, honestly, I think with how we were last year, if we carry on making Ewood our fortress, I think West Brom first game of the season shouldn't be it shouldn't be a problem. But it's first game of the season, so it might be a problem. So I'm going to go with a win at West Brom. At Hull, I'm going to go for a win there. I think we'll lose to Middlesbrough, draw to Sunderland, and lose to Leicester as well. I think we'll have a total of seven or 8 points out of them.
Talking 7 or 8, and then you've obviously got Rovers, home away games as well. Sorry, I mean, you look at all these games, and it's a hard championship this year. We've discussed it so many times, haven't we? How tough it can be. It's been the talk of everywhere. But Rovers are going to have to win these games to be involved in the top 6 race like we want. So you look at away. You look at Rotherham, Watford, Plymouth, Ipswich, Coventry, and QPR. 6 before.
Oh,
is it
God.
a matter of get through with similar points as the home games and we'd be all right, or is it we need more? Because
I'm looking at 3 games there. I think Coventry had their year. I think if Gyökeres goes and there's a couple more players who go, I think Coventry might be a team where they don't find themselves anywhere near as they were last year.
Yeah,
Queen's Park Rangers should be it should be a game that anyone should be winning really. Rotherham, again, it's a bogey one, but we should be winning. So there's 9 points there. Argyle, again, I can't see Argyle staying up this year. I really can't. And a lot of Argyle fans will disagree with me, but I think from that, I think we've got 13 out of a possible 18 points there. I think away form will be our best start to the year.
Yeah, so that's looking at 20 points after 11 games, which I think could have us near the top, actually. I think we know because of how close the league's going to be this year, it won't be a situation like our neighbours down the road last year where there's a team with so many points. I think it's going to be a real up and down one. The one I want to focus on as well as we move on is that Christmas break. Now, Rovers over Christmas have struggled at times. They've struggled a lot. There's been some shocking results, but we look at them 4 games. You've got Watford on the 23rd at home, Huddersfield away 26, Hull away 29th, and then Rotherham at home on the 1st. I'm targeting double figures for that. I think you look at that spell.
I think we should be going on a 4 winning game streak there. But again, It's one of them ones where I know. Obviously, we're predicting it now, but it all depends on them August and September games when it gets up to that point in the first place to see where we are. We could be sitting here and going, you know what, we're not going to survive. But we could be also looking at it and going, oh my God, we're gonna win the league. You know what I mean?
Get Wembley booked. No, it is, and this is it. I think when we look at these, you've always got to take it with a pinch of salt, haven't you? That a lot can change. We've got Leicester up there, Leeds, Southampton down as favourites. But if 3 or 4 players go, suddenly your opinion changes, doesn't it? So it's definitely one to consider. And then I just wanted to mention the running before we go on the tier list. Now, I think you made a brilliant point just before we went on about that running. Now, last year, Rovers had Norwich, Coventry, Millwall, Luton, Preston and Burnley, didn't we? I know Burnley got moved. So we had them 6 that were really tough games. Rovers running looks tough there. I mean, fixtures against Leeds away, Bristol City away, again, is somewhere Rovers are always a bit dodgy. Sunderland away, who I think will be in the mix, actually. And then Southampton at home, Coventry at home, and then you finish at Leicester. You've got to beat the best to get up there. That's what you've got to do. But is that going to be a running that Rovers might end up just faltering on, and it might be that final hurdle we fall at? What do you think?
See, this is it. You could go either way with it. There's like quadruple million, so many routes that you could go with this. But the 2 routes that I think I'm going to go with here is if we come in to the last end of the season and we're in playoffs. Let's say we're 3rd, 4th. We're quite solidified. We've got like a 6-7 point gap. I think we just play for draw after draw after draw after draw, and we make the fans aren't going to enjoy the games that we're watching, but we're just pulling at strings to get these draws. But then I also think if we're not up there, I think what have we got to lose going into the last games of the season? Let's just give it everything. And that's one thing we saw like against Millwall. We were first half, you saw it, last game of the season, we were so, and then when we knew we had nothing to play for, look how much freedom we had playing around. We made Millwall look like they finished at bottom half of the table. It was like, what happened? What happened? First half, you're looking at Rovers thinking, bloody hell, they're about to be relegated. Second half, you look at them and you go, have they not just won the league or something? It's like bipolar FC. I'm all for it because it keeps it interesting. But I really think that the end of the season is going to go the two ways. We're going to go all out, nothing to lose, or we're just going to pull at strings for draws.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's, again, a situation to do there. Kevin FIXTURES sorting my birthday, Millwall at home for my 40th. You couldn't wish for a better present. I've got West Brom for my birthday, the home game, the first one. I was hoping for maybe an away game where we could go somewhere, but it is what it is. I know someone who's got a birthday that falls on the Walsall Cup game, so imagine being that lucky. We'll get on to the tier list, Matt. We'll have a quick look through. So what I've done for this one, I've thrown it in the deep end here, Matt, as well. So I've gone for how many points you think you'll get from each one. So we're going to try and rank this. I got this from an excellent Bournemouth channel, actually, called Back of the Net. They run through this for the Premier League season. Definitely check them out if you like that Prem content. So, Matt, I'll read out a team. So we've got none, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. We'll try and keep it realistic, and we'll.
Can I just say? I had no idea about this before. I've just been put on the spot now. So if I say something that's absolutely out of this world, it's up here for thinking. That's all I'm saying.
Off the cuff, we thought we'd go for it. Let's start, Matt. Birmingham City. How many points?
Oh, but they've honestly, it's so hard because they haven't made all the signings yet, and they've just brought Tyler Roberts in, and that's such a good signing. I'm going to go with 4. 4 will do.
Hey, we've agreed on the first one. I thought 4 as well, I think.
Yeah.
Away from home, it's not always been
the best. Away is a draw, innit? It's going to be a boring draw.
Yeah. There's certain teams here that you fancy Rovers against them at home, and then we play them away, and you're like, oh, God, if we just get a draw, you'd be happy. These aren't in alphabetical order, just in any order, so we'll just go with whatever comes up next. We'll go for Huddersfield. Now, we play these actually quite close to each other again. Boxing Day away, and then I think it's end of January at home. I had again for Huddersfield. I actually had 3. I think we'll beat them at home and we'll lose to them away because of Neil Warnock. What do you think, Matt?
I'll go with you there. I would have said 4, but I think away from home, I think they could do some damage.
Yeah, I think they've just got that bit, haven't they, at times where they just win certain games. Neil Warnock.
You know what it is? One thing with Huddersfield is, right, they never have the most shots. They never have the most possession. They just find ways to win. And it will be 2 attacks, 2 simple counter-attacks that should be defended easily. They'll score from it, and then they'll sit back and they're happy with it.
Sounds about right for them. We'll go on next to... Go on, Matt, pick a team.
I'm going to go Bristol City.
Bristol City. Go on, what are we going for?
3 for me.
I'm the same. I don't fancy going there midweek.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't think it's just us, though. A lot of people say it's Blackburn at Ashton Gate, but obviously, as someone who's at Cheltenham Uni and we get the option to go to Bristol to watch them sometimes, Bristol are just a force at Ashton Gate. The crowd are really good. Bristol City fans are highly underrated. One of the best fans in the league by far at home. They're always behind the team. The side are army, and I think that when you've got a crowd that fierce behind you, it's hard not to win.
Yeah, I agree. We'll go on Norwich next, Matt. I'm going to go for 6. I actually fancy us against Norwich. I think our young counter-attacking team will deal well with their old signings. You know, they're an older team this year. I actually fancy us at Carrow Road.
Do you know what? I'm going to actually agree with you, right? And I'm not just saying it to go along with you. I think with Max Aaron's going and also that Irish centre-back going, I think they'll lose so much pace in that defence. And when you're at this level of football, pace is a must. Pace is an absolute must. And I think that with us going forward, you've got Ennis on the left, you've got Sigurdsson coming in on the right or up front. I think you're just done for pace completely.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it'll be a good fixture for us. Cardiff next. Now, we won't mention what happened to Cardiff last year. Just to note, people, get in the comments if you want to put in how many points you think from each. What are you going for Cardiff?
All 6. All 6, yeah.
6. We're going to get an away win there. We've never won there.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Them fans have been there, of course.
You know, we haven't got George Hurst taking penalties anymore. We're fine.
Don't put all in 6. Imagine. We'll go next for Coventry City, Matt. Now, you obviously didn't back them in them friendlies. Do you think it's 6 against them? I think it's 4, actually. I think we'll get a point there rather than 3. But what do you reckon?
I'm actually going to go for 3 for me.
Go on, we'll put them in 3.
I actually think away from home we'll really want to get one over on them, and when they come to ours again, I think we'll just be idiots and just lose it.
Perfect. Nice to have the confidence. Southampton next. Now this is my first none.
None.
I don't fancy us down there at all. I think it could be a game where Rovers batter aside and then lose 2-0. That wouldn't shock me at all.
Do you know what it is with Southampton? It's not even about where we're playing. It's literally, you look at that team. It's such a young team that they're all happy to play in the Championship, and a season in the Championship takes that team to a Premier League team. So I think they've literally. I think they couldn't have got relegated at a better time. And I know it sounds silly, but I think it's a perfect timing for Southampton. I think they'll go straight back up.
And I think if you put Adam Armstrong up top in this division again,
they'll manage to get 15 million out of him for the season he has in the Championship, because they know he won't do anything in the Prem, and they might break profit off him knowing them.
This is it summed up, isn't it? We know what Adam Armstrong's like in this league, and I just think he'll be too good.
The Championship is Adam Armstrong's playground.
Yeah, it definitely is. We'll move on to Hull City. Shambles, as they're known. What we're going for?
2
back-to-back draws?
Yeah, I think that Hull City are going to be a team that first time round JDT underestimates. I know he usually likes to go into every game thinking, the best of teams, but the Hull City you saw last year, you got to realise the Hull City going into this year is a different, complete different kettle of fish. I think that first game we'll underdo it completely. I think by the time we actually play them second time round, they'll be cooking and they'll be getting the results in, and I think they'll just have the perfect timing to get 2 draws against us.
And it's in the middle of that Christmas break, don't forget.
Yeah.
I just want to welcome another guest in, actually, while we're here. Dom, how are we doing? Are we
good?
You all right?
How you doing?
Good. Delighted to have you on.
Been a while.
Thoughts on the current transfers, the 3 that we've done so far? We might as well get yours in as well.
Yeah, it's going too smoothly, isn't it? It's going way too smoothly for us. I think that initially, last season, it feels like a complete opposite of how this is going so far. And Sigurdsson, man, what a good-looking man he is.
Did you not see
might sell more season tickets.
It's so unfair that a man is so good at football but so good looking whilst doing so. It should be illegal.
Yeah, he's got to have something wrong with him. He can't. There's got to be something there that's probably.
Let's move on. Ipswich. Dom, I'll let you take the lead. How many points off Ipswich?
The 1.
Wow. The 1? Matt?
Wow. Yeah, Ipswich. I think Ipswich away. Of what I was looking at the fixtures today, and I was just seeing that there's so many clubs that Southampton went down, Plymouth up, Ipswich up. There's just so many teams that aren't local to us, or at least such a horrible drive. Dan, you go home and away every single game. I'm not envious of that.
Well, you add into the fact we lost Blackpool, Burnley, Wigan as well, don't you?
Exactly, yeah.
It's not fun. Matt, how many from Ipswich?
I don't get the hype around Ipswich for me. I actually don't. I think just because they're a historic club and they're a big club in the past, I don't get this whole thing about them this year. Like, they're going to probably have George Hurst up front next year. It's 4 will do for me. I think we'll beat them at home and we'll go down there and just play out for a 0-0 quite happily.
Well, you'll be delighted to know, Matt, I've actually sided with Dom. Wow. I actually think 1. I don't fancy us down there at all. And whenever they come Ewood, they just play for a point every time.
What day do they play on a Saturday, or is it?
Saturday, both.
Okay. Dan, we've got Sigurdsson now. They can play for a point all they want. We've got the Icelandic man himself. He's going to be scoring for fun. They can defend all they want. He'll take 6 on. He'll take 7 on. He don't care.
Well, you've lost the battle, Matt. You've lost it. Go on, Matt. I'll let you go first on Leeds. Delighted they're back in the Championship with them ticket prices, and Leeds. Then taking 20,000 everywhere. Where are we putting them?
Leeds 2.
Dom?
I think Leeds are winning the league. I think that Farker. I think it's a perfect relationship between the two. I think that he's an underrated coach, but so I'll say 1.
He's read my mind again. I've gone 1. I think play them at home. I think we'll get a point. Away, I just don't.
I don't think there's enough optimism here. I'm not liking this. Can we sub me out for Dom, because this is getting
Get the next team. Get the next team in there.
I'm getting a bit emotional here.
Wait for this one. Leicester City. Dom, go on.
6.
6 against Leicester.
Yeah, look. Our best game last season against Leicester, I put in the chat, and I think it's perfect that we're playing them away. They could potentially already be up at that point, and they might be on, just second gear. So I'm hoping that's the case.
Can I just say, nearly every game so far we've predicted we'll win at home. Like the only game that's certified is the home game. All the away, that's us as Blackburn fans, isn't it? The away games absolutely terrify us, but the home games, it don't matter if you're Real Madrid. You come to Ewood, we'll beat you. It's fine. It don't matter.
That's what it feels like, though. You watch Rovers, you go down to Ewood, West Brom first game of the season. I'll go down to Ewood and think we're going to get a 3 points here and we'll get them. If we were playing them away, I'd be like, I will bite your hand off for another draw.
Yeah, QPR at home last season, they were top of the league after 15 games. We beat them at home. Probably the worst time to play QPR last season when Mick Beale was in charge there. So we still beat them. So home game first is crucial. I don't know if you mentioned it before in the call or not, but I think the first game being at home is massive.
Matt, are you going 6 for Leicester?
No, I'm going 3. I think we'll lose at home. I think we'll win the away game, though. I think I'm going with what Dom said. I think that I think they'll already be up by that point, and I think we'll be playing against a Leicester side that quite happy to play the second team.
It could be a dead rubber, couldn't it? As well, it could just.
It could be anything. We'll put him in 4 then, because I will go with 4. So the average out at 4. I think away will win. At home, I'd take a point actually from it. I think. Up next, Tony Mowbray, Sunderland. Go on, Matt.
3. I think we'll beat them at Ewood, but lose at Stadium Alight.
Sounds about right. Dom?
When do we play them first?
We play them.
We play them first, Wednesday the 20th at home. First game's the home fixture.
Midweek at home, Easter Monday away.
Oh, okay, so he'll still be in charge at that point. I'm just curious to see if he'll come and be in charge against Rovers. No, it's just the way that managers are. It's just plus he was rumoured to be out the door, weren't he, in the summer? So
yeah,
I couldn't believe that. I could not believe that.
No, it's another club thinking they're bigger, isn't it? You said 3, didn't you, Matt? Dom?
2.
3 it is. I will go with 3. We'll average them all out, see where we end up.
What's the Norway flag for then? What's that?
Tronstad, come on.
Okay. You bought
Mission
it for please tell me that you had that before that signing.
Yeah, I did have this before, yeah, because part Norwegian.
From the Josh King, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the one, yeah. I'm Pedestal.
Without the Norway talk. Middlesbrough. Go on, Dom, I'll let you take the lead.
Oh, we're good in the North. I know I contradicted myself by saying 2, but we're with Sunderland, but we seem to do well at Borough. We've won there a few times in a row now. I can't remember last time we haven't won up there. No,
we love a 1-1 up at Borough.
Gallagher.
We won 2-1 last time, and then we
won when Rothwell scored.
Yeah, we won that one because that was when Finger kicked Frying Head, weren't it? And Warnock.
Dom's back to his statement already with the past 2 wins.
No, first season back of us playing, we drew, I'm sure we did. We had a history of drawing 5 or 6 with fans at 1-1.
Look, you're Mr. Blackburn Rovers, Dan. I will not go.
Gallagher scored a screamer.
Yeah, that was 2-1 Rovers. Because it was that Lenny on goal, weren't it? That we never got.
No, because he scored another screamer there when we won 2-0. Or was that 1-1? Well, anyway, 4 points.
4. Matt?
Yeah.
We're winning away. I'm gonna go 3 points.
Damn you for 1 again.
Thank you.
I think a point away, 3 at home.
This is bad. I think I put us to be the highest in the prediction last year, and I put us 8th. So this is. Are we setting ourselves up?
Someone put 15th. We'll see what we put this time around, won't we? Plymouth next. I'll tell you straight away, I've gone 3. I think we win up here, lose down there with a big trip. I just don't fancy us there. Matt?
6.
Dom?
3.
Matt, you've been outvoted again. Absolutely outvoted. Preston next. Go on, Matt. You can take the lead. Preston. We love Deepdale, don't we?
4.
Dom?
4.
I agree. 4.
4 it is. I think 4
I just
as well.
went to look at my predictions for the Championship Player of the Season. I put Emmanuel Dennis, so that's probably worse than your 15th spot. He went to Nottingham Forest about a week after. So yeah, carry on.
It had to be, didn't it? It had to happen. Let's have a look. QPR next. 6 for me at QPR. Matt?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said before, QPR are the team everyone wants to play because they're just beatable.
Dom?
Yeah, Les Ferdinand leaving. The captain leaving on a free. They don't seem to have any funds coming in. I don't think that there's any sort of belief in the squad from the fans' perspective. Hopefully, when do we play them first? Because hopefully that will be ideal.
QPR don't have
October and February the 3rd up here. So Saturday 7th away of October, February the 3rd at home.
Yeah, 6 points.
6? Yeah, I think that's first one we've all agreed on.
What if 6 points, by the way?
Yeah, we're going for it. We're backing us to win there.
Yeah.
Well, Matt is anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, do you know what? Do you know what's wrong? We need a bit of optimism on this channel, and I'm coming full with it. Cardiff,
We say how optimism gets us. We're Rovers fans. We don't do optimism. We do pessimism, and then we hope that it all works out and we can all be like, it's worked out.
When was the last time we had an Icelandic and a Norwegian on the same pitch?
Never.
Exactly. So there you go.
Oh,
what does that even mean?
Don't get to the Premier League. Sign them contracts. We'll see what City next year. Thanks. Rotherham next. Go on.
6.
I know what Matt's going to say. Go on.
6.
Dom?
3.
I've gone 4.
I'm so. I think I put it on the chat. It took set off at 6 a.m. to get to a 12:30 kickoff of Rotherham Blackburn versus Blackburn on Sky, which is insane in the first place. Get them, and then we concede after 31 seconds. All right, okay, back to the concourse for a pint.
By the way, how we ever sent McConaughey out on loan after that game absolutely baffles me to this day. He was the only player that caused any danger. I was literally chucking my phone all over the place. As soon as he came on the pitch, I had a bit of passion for the team. And then it wasn't so long after we get rid of him to Aberdeen and he plays 51 minutes of football. It's ridiculous.
Hey, but those 51 minutes,
Sheffield Wednesday. Where do they go on this? I'll be honest, I think 6. I think they're in a really bad position with no manager. I know they'll have one by the time season starts, but I think it'll affect them, this knock-on effect of not being prepared. We saw last year Rovers not prepared didn't always work. December the 2nd we played them, and then we played them second to last home game. I'll go 6.
Can I just say something?
Where are we going?
How have we got Middlesbrough and Leicester in 4 will do, but Ipswich are in just the 1?
Have you seen
just
Rovers
putting that
Ipswich?
out there? I think we're talking
That's
what happens in the past with Blackburn. We need to focus on what these teams are looking at now.
These Rovers losing at Ipswich, guaranteed. I'm telling you, Matt. Come back to this when we play them. So I've gone 6. Dom?
2.
2. Matt, you're going to have to even us out here.
No explanation.
No, 6. Yeah, 100% 6. No. I'm sorry. But if Steven Gerrard's about to take over your team, there's serious damage going on, isn't there? I don't rate him as a manager. I think if he gets the job, I don't think he'll advance him in any way. I think he'll bring a couple of loan signings in from Liverpool that he's got some links to, and I just don't think it'll work out for him. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Morton playing at Sheffield Wednesday next year if Gerrard does get the job.
Oh, they can have him. Dom, Watford, what are we going for?
Hey, I just found out today that Watford, you have to go to London Euston to get to Watford Junction.
I enjoyed that trip last year.
I want to do.
It's a
What's
nice
that?
trip. Nice trip down
Is
to
it?
Watford last
3
year.
hours?
Yeah. Better than
Struggling
some
now.
of them.
That I was looking at the away trips. It's like, Jesus Christ! Like this, it's either on a Tuesday in Birmingham or West Brom. I think in early Jan, the best one so far. Watford, and that's how little I care about Watford. I don't care about the policy, the managers, the sort of owner, the flagrant use of sackings, and I hope that we get 6 points. I'm going to say 6.
Matt?
Watford, I'll probably go for 4. I think we'll draw down there, get a win at Ewood.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think Ewood's going to be the place this year, isn't it? Stoke, Dom, we got none there last year. The first team to do the double over us last year, actually. Are we going to fare better this year against them?
I'm not too sure about I don't know what they've done. Have they done anything so far?
They're signing all the Preston lads by the sound of it, from what's coming up from Alex Neil. Yeah, Daniel Johnson's linked there. Ben Pearson sounds like he's going back.
All right, so I'm going to go with 4.
Forward, Matt?
1.
I will put it.
What happened to the positive? Like, what was going on?
No, did you go to the Bet365 last year? Did you do it last season? Honestly, there's no. We're 3-0 down. Honestly, I was there. I remember being in the stands. I was there, and I never felt so confident before a game. We were on a good roll. We were motor rolling through teams. I was like, oh my god, we've got it. And we were 3-0 down within how many minutes? I don't know. I just don't ever want to see Stoke ever again in my life.
Yeah, it was one of the worst we've played this season. It was still 3-2.
Yeah, but that's it. The only positive thing to take at that Stoke game, which I remember coming on the channel and saying, was the last 10 minutes showed that we can play absolutely quality football and wipe teams away in 10, 15 minutes when we want to. But it's unacceptable to concede 3 in the first half alone. Well, I think early second half as well. You conceded another.
So we'll go for 3 then. If you've got 4, I've got 1. I went 3. Dom recently appointed Michael Duff at Swansea City.
Yes.
How are we going to do?
I think Swansea are going to really struggle this season. I don't think they've got much in terms of finances from what we've seen in the past few seasons. They've lost Joel. I guess I can't say his last name.
Joel Latibudia. I learned that one.
Well done. No, it's impressive to. I wouldn't know. You said it, and I still don't know how to say it. I'm going to go with 4 points because I think that they could go down this season.
Matt?
Swansea, I think we're going to get all 12 points from Wales this year.
Did you say 4, Dom?
Yeah.
It's 4.
How many points? Are we going up from this? Like, what?
I know I'm going to work it out at the end. Millwall, our favourite place after the end of last season, unless you were sat on a certain coach like some of us was. Matt, how many points?
I honestly, I don't think Millwall. Millwall are like Coventry to me. I think they had their season to do something last year. Obviously could be losing Flemings to Burnley. Bradshaw could be off elsewhere. I think we'll get 4 points, but I think we'll get the 3 points at Ewood and get a draw down at the Den.
Dom, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go with 1 point. I think that, yes, they might lose a couple of players. I didn't know about Fleming going to Burnley. But Nesbitt, who's a competent striker, I suppose, at the championship level, if they keep Bradshaw, then 1 point.
We'll chuck it in 2 then. I think that averages out. And final one, West Brom. Wait till I tell you how many points from. Matt,
oh my God.
Go on, Matt. West Brom, how many?
West Brom, I think all 6.
And Dom?
2. Because I'm worried about how many points this is going to be.
Well, we'll pop him in 3 then to average it out.
Look,
this is
by the way, Adam Ronan in the chat. I think Stoke are dark horses for promotion, to be honest, this year.
Right.
Could be right. I think there's going to be someone coming on, isn't there? This brings out 76 points. Now, if Rovers make 76 points,
that's all right. I thought we got way more than that from
I don't know.
losing one. Like,
We'll make a donation to charity, though. If we hit 76 points, we'll have to put some money to charity, because I don't see 76, but I do see us having a decent year. I think
76 compared to last year's championship would get us 4th.
But it's going to be a much better league, isn't it?
I'm intrigued to see what the difference will be from this till, say, the day before the first game, when all the transfers are sorted. Because at the minute we're sort of speculating, and we've done ours early. We've done stuff early. I'm curious to see how many points we'd say in 3 weeks' time.
Dan, I'm interested to have a little question. I asked the question to you this time, Dan. Do you think there's going to be more transfers this window, especially with everyone? I've seen you face on Fabrizio Romano too many times so far. So,
I think there'll be. I think we're talking 4 without any replacements. I think we'll make 4 more. I think we'll look at a right back. I think a left back as well. A centre back, and I just think something else will come in. I think we'll do 4 more because of this rule that's coming. Rule with the signings.
Did Tronstad count as one of the players? He didn't, did he?
No, he'd have already passed the regulations. Now Sigurdsson would have gone to an exemptions panel, which means you've got to put the request in, appeal the work. A bit like on FM when you have to appeal the work permit. That's essentially what it had gone to.
He's taken up one of the spots now, Annie Sigurdsson.
Yeah, so that's one of 4. Just for this comment as well, as Ray not moved, Tottenham have actually, according to Fabrizio Romano, the real one, not myself, have agreed a deal for a goalkeeper. Yeah, apparently. So
Zigo, the Italian, 18 million.
Yeah. So it sounds like Ray could stay put. Now, United could come calling. I know De Gea's obviously up and down, isn't he, in terms of
Didn't Fabrizio come out about maybe a potential contract for David De Gea, though?
It could be. It's a weird one, isn't it? We know with big clubs that rumours fly around everywhere. I personally don't think Ray will move. I think the money will be made off. I actually think Travis will go, personally, and Kaminsky. Yeah, I don't see Kaminsky being a Rovers player.
I don't see Kaminsky going for 6 million, though.
No, I think it'd be neither 4 or 3, to be honest. Yeah. But I do think, although I've got my thoughts of I think he should play for the side, I'd rather sell him than keep him around if he's not going to play.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's worth 3 or 4 million. He's probably worth more at keeping pairs and having that, rather than him sitting on the bench.
I think Millwall's 6-figure bid for Travis is a bit disrespectful.
Oh, it's offensive. I think it's offensive. I think it's
captain.
It's awful, isn't it? I'd sell him.
He's up 2.5.
Yeah, I'd sell him if they come in with 2.5, 3 million.
Yeah. And I back that.
But don't come and offend us with 6 figures. There's not many players in the squad I'd take 6 figures for. Well, I'd take 1 figure for him, I'll be honest. But there's not many players that I think you look at and think it's worth selling them. A lot of players, it's not worth the risk of 800 grand. It's not worth pocketing that money when you're not going to go out and buy someone with that money anywhere to sell him. It's got to be a couple of million for me. But let us know in the comments as well if you have any thoughts on the Travis situation. One thing I wanted to cover before we go off is remain in business. Dom, I'll come to you. What positions do you think Rovers still need to strengthen in? I know we've got what we think the club will, but what do you think we need to do still?
I think personally we definitely need a left back, definitely the striker, because we tried to sort that out last season. I know they said they scouted George Hurst for how long, but let's be honest.
Get Danny it's just back. Bring him back.
That's the one. Put him left back. There you go.
Don't get him started.
Yeah, wherever he's going, I'm going away from there. Left back potentially to cover Pickering, but is he good enough for this team? He seems like a scapegoat, doesn't he, at the minute? And I think that he's better than what people say, but I don't know how much money we have to pay to get a better left back than Pickering. Would it be in the millions? And do we have that much money?
I'm going to say something that's going to offend most Blackburn fans, I think.
I think Pickering's a very solid left back. I don't think he'll pull up trees, but I don't think he has to. For me, I think you keep him in this squad, and I think he's more than capable of playing for a playoff side at fullback. I think we need backup though, because it does worry me putting Ryan Hedges there.
No, that, how do you buy a player for backup? Like
that's it, isn't it? Do
you're either paying 3 million or you're paying for a League One left back.
Do you go Ryan Manning? I think it's a good option from Swansea. If you can say you're going to get your chance, because people know they'll get the chance under John Dahl. That's one thing he showed last year, wasn't it? He showed that you'll get your chance to impress.
I didn't think Lassie Badia would be a bad shout. I just think it's the wages he'll demand. I think that's the only thing that might be a problem.
He's got competition, and he as well. That's the issue. We're at this part of the window. I saw a tweet yesterday that Plymouth and 2 other Championship clubs had offered contracts. I think we beat Plymouth to a signing. I think we beat a lot of sides in this league to a signing, actually.
We already did. We already did, didn't we, with Ennis?
Well, yeah, Ennis. I think we beat a lot of sides in this league, except for your top 3 from last year, and your Middlesbrough, Sunderland. Norwich will beat us to a signing, I think, financially, so will Watford. But if other clubs below us are going for him, I don't see any issue. Any other topics we want to cover before we round off?
I think there's another position we need to buy, actually. Well, that's not been brought up enough. I think that fullbacks are very important in the modern day game, as we all know. But I think that having fast, physical fullbacks is more important than ever. And as much as Harry Pickering, is brilliant, he's not very fast. I think left back much needed. I think we might play Joran Costello a bit more central next year and sign a right back. I think Callum Britton now is quite happy to be a backup right back. I think we might get a very fast, physical right back from the Scandi leagues, possibly a Swedish one.
I always wondered, is there a move for Joe Ingeberg still around? If he come in as a squad player, well known to John Dahl, known to Greg, on a free transfer, I believe, unless I'm missed out somewhere. I think he might be a very cost-effective way of getting him in. Again, we don't have to go through all that ball ache of getting him a work permit, etc., which always adds to it. So I won't be shocked to see him come in as maybe a very late signing in the window just to add experience, not to be anything special for this team, just to be another option, and he can play many positions as well. He could be one to watch out for, but there's nothing on him yet. But Rovers will get the deals done. We know they'll get the deals done. Just the way I understand he's 32, 33. I completely appreciate that. I just think there's nothing wrong with signing a 33-year-old if he's going to add something into the squad. If he can add experience, versatility, even if he's someone just to see out the last 5 or 10 minutes in a game.
Fill the gaps.
Objective, yeah. I think your issue is no player over 28. I appreciate that again, but I think you need experience in this side. I think
that's a very football manager mindset, isn't it? If you're over the age of 26, done, aren't you? So I think that you get to the age of 30, you just a washed footballer, and footballers now get to 40. So I know the Championship is a high-paced game, but I think obviously there's not a sell-on clause, but if you get him on a free or for a low cost, then the experience, which we probably need more than ever because it's such a young squad, is invaluable.
I think as well, you mentioned the sell on there, James. Rovers have got to develop the players to sell on. That's the way it goes. But there needs to be options there for these other players. If you're playing Jake Garrett for 30, 40 games a season this year, you need that backup for when he's tired. You need that backup for when he's resting. Same with the wingers. Not every player is going to be a sell-on clause for us, realistically. Personally, I don't think Ryan Hedges is going to go on and sell on for a lot of money. But what he is he's a good squad player. He's got the attributes we need in the side. He's not going to be Adam Wharton that you sell for 15, 20 million. I just think he's going to be
it's the intangible stuff, isn't it? It's the intangible stuff that comes with an experienced footballer rather than having a team full of 19, 20-year-olds that probably have a sell-on.
It didn't help us last year. I think having a young team cost us at times.
Go on.
I just think Adam Wharton, who personally I think was incredible and very good all season. There were times he showed immaturity like you'd expect from an 18-year-old. Ash Phillips, the same. I thought he was good when he came in the side, but he showed immaturity at times. And you've got to have that learning curve, and you've got to have them players that guide him. You've got to appreciate that not every player can be a sell-on, because if every player is a sell-on, you're going to end up selling off your squad every summer, and you're going to end up selling all these players. You've got to have that core, and then your players around it. Like Lewis Travis won't sell for too much, but give him time with Adam Wharton, and Adam Wharton becomes on and B's hopefully an 8-figure player. I just think you need time. Just one mention of where was it? Which players do you think will go out on loan? I think we're all agreeing Markanday will go out. I think Jack Vale as well. Anyone else you'd suggest them?
I think
Sam Barnes.
I think they just want to run down Jack Vale's contracts now, really, don't they? I don't think they have any.
He only signed a new one, didn't he? Recently.
Yeah, I know, but I think that the objective is now is to send him out on loan, hope some team looks at him and goes, you know what, we want a bit of him, or just send him out on loan and again, just try and do what's best for him. I don't think he'll ever be a Blackburn Rovers like striker ever.
Might not be. I think the good thing is with the contract, and it's the same with the Pears one. I think Mark mentioned it on the channel actually, that Pears contract, although it does look like Kaminski's going to go, that isn't necessarily saying Kaminski, we're backing you for Pears, we're backing you for 4 years to be the first number one. It's keeping the assets, isn't it? It's keeping them in the squad, keeping them there. And then if we do sell, sorry, Dom, I think cross
it's a low risk, isn't it? I think
Jack Mills, I think as well. James Brown, I don't see being a Rovers player at all come the end of the window. I think it's just go.
In my opinion, it's quite sad, really, because he came over and, you know, what game was it that he actually got a little bit of play? Yeah,
game.
He didn't look awful. He looks all right there.
I think his issue is coming over from Ireland, very tough. It's worked with some players, Sean Maguire from Preston. I just think he's almost been unfortunate that JRC's been so good again that he's never even going to get a sniff. Callum Britton was saying Callum Britton had played a lot more last year, but James Brown, come in and not James Brown, JRC come in, had all these good games, and no one else got a shout. So I think that's it. I just think time for these players. We'll see as we go along, won't we? Maybe if bids come in for elsewhere, we'll see. But I think that's where we'll round off. We've been on for an hour and 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Thank you for everyone for watching. Matt, thank you for being on. Really appreciate it.
Nah, don't be silly. A pleasure to be on as always. Very thankful for everything.
And Dom, thank you for coming on. Always great having you on. Nice to get you in for a few debates as well on the tier list.
Yeah, it's good to be in the second half. So,
well, do it next year. Get us a few goals off the bench. We'll see what happens. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, do all that stuff. Plenty of content coming. Videos on Sigurdsson coming out Friday and Saturday, all being well. And then hopefully we got another signing, because I'll tell you something, the signings make the time go a lot quicker. No, Matt, there's nothing at all going on. I won't be shocked if we're discussing an outgoing before an incoming, but we'll see what happens. Thank you to everyone for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you soon for a new video.